I'm excited about this. I want to hear what you have to say about Huck Finn. All right, so hang on, let me. This one is done. And this one, and everybody's here. All right, are you ready? Just breathe. It's only me. I haven't hit anyone yet today, so we're good. I promise. Okay. All right, here we go.
Hi, I'm Abraham Tiro.
I'm Virgil Valenti.
I'm Elijah Hopkins. And I'm Sebastian Bautista.
And this is The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. We will start off by summarization of the book. The book takes place after when Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer find $60,000 and go to Judge Thatcher to decide what to do. Judge Thatcher decides to give the $6,000 to the Widow Douglas, and the Widow Douglas attempts to civilize Huckleberry Finn. The adventures of Huckleberry Finn follow Huck's adventures down the Mississippi River after he escapes trying to be civilized.
For language and literature, around the time Huckleberry Finn was made, the N-word was frequently used throughout the book because in 1885, racial tensions were very high. Also, the book uses language that indicated that they had a heavy accent due to some phrases being grammatically error, and they use some words like ain't or got, get, and this could be due to the fact since around the mid to late 1800s, majority of the world population didn't have the cognitive skills to read and write.
And also, so the author likes to use a lot of literary devices and techniques. The very first technique that he uses is the technique of using the word of speech that the Southern people used at that time. So by using that, the word of speech that he used was a lot of prejudice, and that's shown throughout the whole book. The second technique that's shown is how he decides it's a circular technique where the book starts off the same way as it ends off. So Huck, he embarks in his journey in the beginning of the book, right? And in the end of the book, he embarks in his journey to go to the West. So as he leaves Aunt Sally.
The book has also aged gracefully. It has faced backlash due to racism and some terms that we don't really use today. And also, it just didn't make fun of slavery. It used such thing as poor white Americans, Native Americans, and also I mentioned slavery.
So how it influenced society is during the time Huck, he grew up in the slave culture, and he throughout the book he chose to stay true to himself, and he wants to be free from society's constraints. So how it influences is by showing what it's like during the time. So after a month it was published, in Concord, Massachusetts, a library banned the book because it was called ignorant and it was not appropriate for schools. So other libraries followed suit.
I will be talking about the themes and characters. For themes, it asks, what is the theme of the book and is it timeless? Well, during our meetings, we have concluded that there are multiple themes throughout the duration of the book, but we have decided to talk about the theme of slavery and racism and the theme of freedom. As my group member Sebastian stated, the book is very, in a way it could be debated that it's pro-slavery because it talks about slavery a lot. And every place where Huck visits, there's an estate that has slaves, the Granger Fords and the Shepherdsons have tons of slaves. And is it timeless? Yes. We believe that the theme does have a lasting impression throughout the whole story of the book because it is shown wherever Huck goes, slavery and then yearning to be free. And we will talk and characters. Characters ask if you can put yourself in the place of the character in the book. And we've also come to the conclusion that the audience could relate to characters such as Huck or just Jim. They both want to escape being captive. Huck doesn't want to be civilized, so he runs away from that. And Jim is a slave, and we already know that he's a slave and they're mistreated, and he wants to be free as well. So that's why he runs away from Miss Watson in the first place. Andy? And why is this book considered a classic? And yes, we consider this book a
Do you
classic.
all agree?
Yes. We had no debates about this because we all agreed. He said that it showed readers what life was like in the olden times, and we also talked about how themes in the book can get a classroom discussion going, like racism, pressure of society, all the times. Last impressions. We conclude that this book was very violent. Many encounters of death, and a lot of irony. Like the feud part of the book, where the Shepherds and the Granger Forts, they shoot each other because they fight. They go to church, and they keep the rifles between their knees, and while the priest is talking about peace and love.
To add on our book discussions, we also discussed on why this was targeted to children around the 1885. We found that it was very interesting since that time was around war was starting. Basically, a lot of bad things were starting around that year, and we found that if it was made this time, it would be controversial because they were used the N-word, and yeah.
Yay. All right. I have a couple of questions for you.